Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. We are back with some fun Disney talk to get you right into your weekend. Ricky and Pam join me, and we take 3 topics and talk for 10 minutes on each topic. So we tackle these 3 topics. Is Disney Cruise Line becoming too niche with their new cruise ships? Ricky brings Animal Kingdom at night. Is this possible, and will it change with the expected announcements coming to the park this weekend at D23? And then Pam proposes that we need a new resort to be announced for Walt Disney World this weekend, but it needs to be a deluxe resort. We have this conversation, so here are our thoughts on these 3 things, and then sound off over in the clubhouse at beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, especially when you're buying all those back-to-school supplies. Everybody wins. You get educated, and we get a little support there to help pick up the show. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You make this show possible. Couldn't do it without you. You can support us just $5 a month, and you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over today, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2536 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. I got to tell you, I'm a little sad. I am. I'm a little sad here on this Friday because the Olympics coming to a close this weekend. It just, it's like an old friend is leaving because, you know, as somebody who is a work from home person, my wife has gone back to school, and, you know, Snoop Dogg and Mike Tirico are just not going to be there for me on a nightly basis with the recaps of, you know, the heptathlon and the team pursuit on the velodrome and dressage, and I won't know who's back in the, what's the word, Pam? The French word, the last chance group, the French word we taught everybody on Wednesday. I forgot the word.
Well,
Repechage. See, I'm already. I can't deal with it. Even though I heard the closing ceremonies on Sunday night are going to be pretty epic. I think Tom Cruise is going to parachute in, and he's going to take stuff from Paris to LA. So it's going to be must-see TV. But I'm sad. Like, I feel like I've developed relationships with the athletes. Like, I want to jump in the pool with the swimmers, and I want to start learning how to do a balance beam routine. And I don't know. It's a thing. Every closing to the Olympics, I get a little sad. When they blow out is it not the most depressing? Because, see, I played, like, you know, I always wanted to be an Olympian as a kid. That's one thing I really wanted to do. I feel like it's all of a sudden turning into Mike in the Midwest. Sorry, but we're going to get to the show. But when they blow out the torch, like the big Olympic flame, that's sad. It's like, okay, we had all this camaraderie, all this sportsmanship. Whew. Too bad. See you in 4 years.
It's over now.
Yep. Let's just fight now for the next 2 years until the winter happens.
Oh my God.
Sad. It's sad. Like, I just keep the torch lit. Let's all love each other. You know, it's like, oh my God. Anyway, let's talk Disney. That's one of the good things. You go to Walt Disney World, everybody seems to get along. Unless you're like jockeying for position for like rope dropping, and elbows are allowed. Ricky, how do you feel? She's from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and the Mouse for Less. Happy Friday, Ricky. What's up?
I am going to need to start doing my finger exercises because today is the start of my Super Bowl, baby. It is D23 Expo weekend, and that means Ricky's going to be writing a lot. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest Disney news, I'm going to, you know, just put out the plug. Make sure you follow along with a Disney World After All. And, you know, also the Mouse for Less too. We'll have both. We'll have lots of information to share with you about what's happening during the D23 Expo. All the huge news that's coming out of the expo this year, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty massive. So, yeah, this is going to be a big year, and I'm ready. So, the laptop's charged. My fingers are. I'm stretching them out here. You can see stretching them, and I'm ready to do this. Let's go. Let's get to the Super Bowl.
And so there has been talk in the clubhouse, again, at brguestpodcast.com/clubhouse, that there is a watch along feature that we're going to have in the voice channel where people can watch along together, chat together, voice chat together, and watch the announcements together in real time. So brguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. Come on over.
That's awesome too.
With other Disney fans. I know they're all talking about it, and that'll be fun to talk about all the announcements. What would be the wildest? Because I know we're talking about maybe beyond Big Thunder. You know, there's certain things that we think are going to happen, but like, what's something you hope would happen? Kind of crazy-ish this weekend.
I mean,
a third park at Disneyland.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, that. I don't know if they. I know that they're going to have additions for Disneyland, and I know they're going to be pretty good. I don't know if we'll get the third park announced.
No, I'm just saying that would be wild. That's something I'm not expecting.
I do think with that Disneyland Forward, there was talk of a third park in there. So
that'd be
honestly, that
could
be a possibility.
Yep. Not expecting it, but it'd be
not expecting it, but it could be. Yeah, I think that would definitely be wild, but it's possible. I don't know. I think that they're gonna do like, you know, since they've talked so much about the future over the past, couple of like the past D23 Expo and stuff like that. Like, I think they're going to have some concrete stuff this time. And so I think that anything like in the future like that, like a third park for Disneyland, they're not going to talk about this time. I mean, they might, but I think we're going to get like actual solid stuff that's for sure happening. Although we've had D23 Expos happen where they said, hey, this is happening at Epcot. And a lot of those things didn't end up happening. So, I guess we'll see what ends up going on.
All right, Pam Forrester, Coner the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday, Pam. Well, what are you thinking we are going to learn this weekend? Or what are you hoping? What are your feelings on the weekend? Or what are you just having for dinner tonight? Who cares? What you got?
I don't know. The D23 thing is actually not in my wheelhouse, and I will tell you why. There are so many things that are announced that are either so far off or never happen.
Yep.
That it's just not that big of a deal to me. It's always fun to sort of speculate about the things that they announce and sort of like, give input on that. So it's not my jam. I completely understand why people want to attend and do attend. It's just not the thing for me. Plus, the whole idea of paying to go wait in lines would drive me beyond crazy.
More power
is
to
100%
all the people.
Not my jam, but
more power to all the people who want to wait in those lines. I have thought about it for years of, hey, it would be really cool to go to D23, and then I'm like, the older I get, the more like less I want to be near people like that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably good. I'll just watch it from home. It's fine.
I would love to see another like, I know they put a lot of time and energy into Epcot, but I would love to see another e-ticket attraction for Epcot. I think
agree.
That we haven't really, I mean, I know that we've gotten Guardians, but I will also say that it's actually an attraction that there's a bunch of people that can't do for various reasons. So I would love to see another attraction in Epcot. I would love to see Epcot get some other love besides the opening up the middle of Epcot, which is beautiful. It's lovely. I like it. I absolutely like it better than what they had before. I think that it's good. I really enjoy it. I enjoy Moana. And I even enjoy the, new locations that they've added recently. But I would love to see some Epcot continue to get some love. Maybe we can look at the Wonders of Life Pavilion again.
It's there. It's there for the. Let me ask you guys this. Okay, piggybacking on that real quick before we get into today's topic, because that's great. That's a great concept. Would you rather have an e-ticket on the scale of Guardians of the Galaxy? Because that was a super expensive, major project. I mean, that's probably the biggest e-ticket attraction ever that they've had as far as expansion.
Yeah.
as far as one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Or would you rather get an additional country in World Showcase?
I would take a country.
Me too.
I think.
Me too.
I would take a country anytime,
But I'm
any place.
old.
A full country though.
A full country.
I want
right.
it to have an attraction. I want it to have a sit-down
Yes.
restaurant.
Yes.
I want it to have
A quick service
shopping.
Yes. Yes.
I
yeah.
want it to, just be a country that is sort of like a destination.
Agreed.
I feel like we're sort of, with what has happened, like Morocco, really, we've lost the table service restaurant there, and we've lost the sponsorship. So I just feel like it would be fantastic to have, like, I always felt like there was always this promise of another country.
Absolutely.
And we
They
haven't
talked
really
about Brazil for years.
Brazil, Africa.
Yeah.
There have been different things, throughout. I think it would be fantastic to have that. I'd love that. So
I don't know that we're going to get a lot of news from Epcot this time, just because, they did just do all that work. But here's something that I think would be big for Epcot that I'm really hoping happens. But it's still on a smaller scale. So like, but it feels like it would be so easy. I say that in quotes. Because
you're sitting in Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Exactly, because I'm sitting here in Sugar Hill. But I think what they need to do with the huge, massive success of Inside Out, 2, and everything that just happened with that, how genius and simple and just quick, like tying into it so quickly would it be to take the film that's over, the 3 shorts that are over in the Imagination Pavilion. Don't redo, I'd love to see them redo Figment, but I worry that if they redid Figment, they'd put Inside Out in there. I want to see them do a 3D film with Inside Out characters in that space. I think that would be a perfect tie-in for the Imagination Pavilion. And then it would still keep Figment. I would in my ideal world, there would be a replacement for Figment, but it would still include Figment. But I think that would be a simple, quote, fix for, Epcot for this time of D23. So I'd like to see an Inside Out film announced. That's if I was going to be wishing for stuff, I think that's what I'd wish for on the smaller scale, at least, because it's not like a huge thing, but
I just want stuff away from the movies, but that's just me because I don't. See the
but
movies.
see, that's the problem, Mike. They're not going to do that. They are so far away from not doing an intellectual property. Everything from here on out is going to be intellectual property, just the way that the Disney company is right now. You're not.
I think it's the way that the Disney fans are too, though.
True.
Except for this very small microcosm,
like us,
of people who are insistent that this is the way forward. I think that when you're talking with kids make the connection through the movies. And that's important. So
I'm with you, Mike. I'd love to see them announce something that was completely brand new, no IP tie-in, no nothing, just Disney imagination at its very best. But I don't think we're gonna get that ever again. So
which brings us to today's concept for today's show. So today's topic, or today's concept, conceit for the show, is we're going to each bring one topic to the table and talk about it for just 10 minutes. And we're going to move on, because these could all be their own thing for like an hour, but we're going to just go 10 minutes, have the debate. And the reason is I want to have the conversations over in the clubhouse and see what you guys think about these topics. And we could also talk about them on Sunday night, call in and give us some feedback on this as well. Now, my topic is something we did talk about last Sunday night on the call-in show, but the ladies weren't here, and I'm really still having an internal struggle on how I feel about this topic days later is I think about this. And my topic is related to the Disney Destiny, and I did see Ricky mention this in the clubhouse as well earlier in the week, is basically my thesis is, are the Disney Cruise Line ships, as they get announced, the newer ships, becoming too niche, too specific to a brand, with the Disney Destiny specifically being with the stern or the back of the ship having the Spider-Man on the back of the ship. Again, this is coming from somebody, and I will say right off the bat, not every ship has to be for Mike Rallman, and I don't expect it to be. I can sail other ships and we can all have our different likes and dislikes. And I never expect everything to be for Mike Rallman. It's not supposed to be, and I'm totally fine with that. And first let me say that, because I'm not a Marvel fan. I've never seen a Marvel movie, and that's so it's totally, I get it. Like, this is not my jam, and it's totally fine. Disney does not have to pander to Mike Rallman ever. So let me just say that off the bat. But this ship has Spider-Man on the back and I do like how it has like little spiders that he's shooting the webs out. That's pretty cool looking. I get that. That's pretty cool, but it's got Spider-Man on the back. It's got Black Panther in the middle. Again, I've never seen any of the Black Panther. To me, the aesthetic of Disney Cruise Line are like the classic Disney characters. Now, if you want to do something like superhero, I'd be like maybe like Goofy in like a superhero kind of costume. Or like Mickey Mouse.
Right?
Wait, I gotta share I gotta share my comic book, my hero thing. So Disney did one of the coolest things for me that I've ever had happen in my whole life, and it's actually sitting right here because I want to order a frame for it because it's an odd size.
Ridiculous.
But they had me submit a picture, and look what they did.
Oh, you look at you! You're a superhero on a
comic book character. I love it. I'm so
Destiny. I know my hair looked really good in the picture, and they got it right too. I'm gonna say
that hair's awesome.
Right?
Holy cow!
But this is for the Disney
Path to Destiny.
Destiny. I know, right? So cool. Yeah. But yes, okay. So
this just real quick. I mean, because we're 10 minutes. Okay, so here's the thing. But okay, my theory is, are the ships getting more niche as they go? And I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. And here's the thing: is like here's my thinking. And I don't know whether I like this or not. When they had just the Disney Magic in 1998, of course, the ship was very general. It was a general cruise ship with a lot of Disney touches here and there, right? Because it was the only offering they had. They had one ship. So you had to really make it general, but with Disney touches here and there, like in the lounges and in the restaurants and all. So, but then they had the Wonder. So then they had two ships that were sister ships. They were very alike. They could kind of get a little bit more, change things, switch it up a little bit more when they added the Dream and the Fantasy. They could make the ship longer. They could make the top deck look a little different with the Aqueduct, so they could take a few more chances. They could do that. Now with the Wish is a little bit different than the Fantasy and the Dream, right? They changed things up a little bit even more with that. Now you got, the Destiny with this and the Treasure. The Treasure obviously looks more like the Wish. It's kind of a sister ship there. There's some aesthetic changes, some different venues. But in the Destiny, I think they kind of went a little bit different. The atrium looks a lot different. The theming's a lot different, but like
the atrium looks a little plain.
Well, so what we were saying though, and Jason called in, one of our great listeners, and we had this conversation. If you kind of take this and look at trends, because he does a lot of college football stuff online, and he's really into statistics. And like you look at a trend, what if like the next one was like a Pixar themed ship? Like it was very heavily leans into Pixar. The next one really heavily leans into Star Wars. And like, if you think about it, earlier, they took these real generally themed ships and they did overlays with like Marvel Day at Sea, and so they would try to get Marvel infused into the cruise line experience. Star Wars Day at Sea, Pixar Day at Sea. So they would take a generally themed, soft, like more of a general cruise ship, like a Dream or a Fantasy or a Magic or a Wonder, but they would still want to give the Marvel fans what they wanted with this real heavily Marvel Day at Sea with the characters everywhere and these activities and Star Wars and Pixar and all that. But now I think you have a different philosophy with your fleet when you have 7 ships, because when you have 7 ships, Mike Rallman doesn't have to worry about it. If he doesn't want to sail the Disney Destiny, you could say Mike Rallman doesn't have to sail the Disney Destiny. Mike Rallman can still sail the Fantasy, or he can sail the Magic, or he can sail the Wonder. But when there's only 3 or 4 ships, you have to be careful because you don't have as many options for everybody. So I think maybe Disney Cruise Line's philosophy moving forward is a 7-ship fleet and more later is going to be different than the 4-ship fleet. And so I'm trying to, Pam, you're kind of nodding. What I'm struggling with this. What do you think? Are the ships getting too niche, or is it just kind of an evolution of the company as we go?
It's funny because I think no matter what Disney does, the internet will lose their mind, right? Because we wanted something different. They gave us something different. Then people didn't want something different. It wasn't similar enough to what they've had in the past. And I think that's just human nature, right? That we think we want something different, but then when we're faced with that, we're sort of like, oh, it's different. Like, I want something different, but not quite that different, just a little tiny bit different. But I think what the goal, maybe if I'm thinking of it from the Disney perspective, is to find a way to sort of tap into things. I think that at the end of the day, Disney is about stories, and it's about people connecting with stories, right? And that's what the parks have been about from the very beginning. People, they were, very thoughtful about how the details, feed into the story. And this is the story of the park, and this is the story of this attraction, and this is the story of this bench that's sitting here, right?
Yep.
I mean, we get a story behind everything. And I think with the cruise line in the very beginning, they were really sort of intentional about the story, is that they were like old luxury cruise liners, right? The Disney ships look very different than other ships, while still sort of keeping, grounded with their roots, and that they wanted it to be something that appealed to families of all different kinds of families, right? Whether you're an adult only family, whether you're a single traveler, whether you're a family with young kids, middle teens, or older teens, you want to be multi-generational. So I think the way that they do that now is by taking sort of a deeper dive into some of these themes that we've all sort of loved, and we've seen that people have loved these themes, right? They have nights in the park that focus on a theme. They have different, like Mike, you had mentioned, different cruises that focus on Pixar or whatever. I think too, there's always a call for Disney to maybe have things that are more appealing to little boys. And that traditionally has been, some of the superheroes and whatnot. And I think too, the other part of that is that so much of Marvel was really very inclusive in different ways. And I think that was another thought too. So I think there's so many things, so many ways to go with this. I'm a huge Marvel fan from the original Marvel movies. I haven't gotten so much into the multiverse because it hurts my head a lot of times when I'm partway through the movie. I'm like, wait, what? How did this happen? I enjoy some of them, but it just takes a lot more thought, and I'm not sure that I'm there with all of it. But the Avengers series, that whole series where we had that, I loved that. I loved that story, and that's why I loved the story. I thought it was fantastic. And I think that's what they're trying to tap into, some of these things. When we see Black Panther going to be there, that was a fantastic story. And I think that so many people felt, a connection with that story for different reasons. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what we're going to see. This is the way that Disney is going to make their ships unique. And each of them has a different personality. But when push comes to shove, you all know, even if you knew nothing about Marvel or nothing about any of this, when you get on the ship, this is going to be something that everyone can enjoy. Right. And that's been the case with everything. Mike, you don't watch the movies and still enjoy tons of stuff.
Well, exactly. I mean, once I was on the ship, I'd never remember who's on. Like, I don't remember the Dumbo was on the back of the Fantasy or who was in the atrium. Like, I could care less. Like, I mean, I get my picture taken with it maybe on embarkation day, and that's it. And I see it when I roll into the Royal Palace or whatever. But it's not going to have an impact. But I mean, as they have more ships, like we were talking, would I be more apt to look after a Star Wars, like, if like Darth Vader was on the butt of the ship? That'd be pretty cool. Or, like we even took it to the fact that like I'm like they own ESPN, currently. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be in the future, but I mean, if you had a sports themed ship, like Lee Corso's statue was in the atrium. If you know who that is, he's on game
that's
day.
gone over real well with the Mighty Ducks section of
I'm just
All-Star
saying
Sports,
though, but I mean, like, there's a lot of Mike Rallman people out there that'd be like, dude, there's a sports ship. Like, I mean, the Disney, whatever. Like, I mean, there'd be a lot of folks that would be, not just one sports bar, but there's like a sports restaurant. Like, I mean. But I mean, then I'm saying, yeah, that's awesome. But then I'll, in the same breath, I'm saying, oh, that ship's too niche. But I think are they trying to make the ships real niche? Or they, because once you're on it, Pam's exactly right. Like, you still have a great cruise, and you probably don't even, 95% of the stuff doesn't matter once you're on the ship. It's all.
And the classic characters are still there.
They are.
Like you see on that thing that they made, the comic book thing. It's Minnie. It's Minnie as a hero, and Mickey as a hero, and they have some of the songs, some of the shows, the more classic Disney characters. Some of the movies like Hercules and Hades are there, and Cruella and The Lion King. I mean, those are more classic tales where you can see a good versus evil. So I see it there, and I think that within that theme, I think a lot of people will find a story that they relate to.
All right, Ricky, give your thoughts. What do you think? And then we'll go on to the next topic.
I'm kind of torn. Because of course I see, like, of course, yes, Marvel is Disney now. I mean, yes, I get that. But I don't love that it's taking center stage. I mean, I'm okay with, Marvel touches and things like that in the ship. It's just for some reason it still is. It's kind of like it sticks out to me a little bit because it's taking so much of center stage. That I'm just not. I don't love that aspect of it. And like Pip said, it's just a couple of sections really of the ship that's going to be Marvel themed. The rest is all going to be very heavily Disney themed and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like this ship, kind of like I was saying before, like the treasure, it feels very different in the sense of, like, I feel like they've taken different color palettes and they've really tried to make it very different. But this one, it feels almost a little bland, and I don't love that. Like, I'm like, what, let's amp it up a little bit. The thing that makes the Disney dream and the fantasy and the magic and the wonder so great is because it is so over the top. I feel like I agree, Mike, that it has so many of the classic Disney touches to it, and I think that that's what's missing probably with this. And it feels like to me,
maybe
it's really
they haven't shown us
a lot of the
everything for the
lobby.
Destiny yet either.
Yeah.
The Destiny is also the furthest out ship. I mean, maybe there's
Exactly.
more to come. I mean, maybe this weekend we'll see some more details.
Maybe it's possible. But I'm like, I'm not getting the reason for me to sail on the ship yet. It's not like sticking out. Like the treasure, I'm super excited to sail on the treasure at some point. Like it sounds like an amazing ship. But there's just not that hook yet for me for the Destiny. And of course, yes, I will eventually sail on the Destiny just because I'll want to get that checked off the bucket list of my Disney bucket list. But it's not one of those where I'll be like, okay, like I'm itching to get on that ship yet. I'm excited to learn more about it, and I think that at some point I will get to that itching to be on that ship. But I'm itching more for the treasure as of right now than I am for anything else out of this new fleet right now. Although, of course, the adventure will be a whole other literal adventure because it's, going to be a completely new kind of ship. It's going to sail out of Singapore. That's going to be a whole other ball of wax.
I'm not even counting that one because that's so far away. I'm not even counting that one. But here's the thing: 10 minutes is way up. But so I think more people are going to sail the Destiny than the Treasure, though, because it's going to be more accessible with the shorter cruises, and it's going to be more affordable out of Lauderdale too. I think the Treasure is going to be more costly, and 7-night cruises are just harder to work into your calendar.
Absolutely.
So I think more people are going to go on the Destiny than the Treasure once they're both sailing at the same time.
I 100% agree with that.
It's just like more people sail the Wish because it's got 3 and 4 night cruises out of Canaveral than other ships, just because it's more convenient, it's more affordable, it's good first tasting of a ship of a cruise. Anyway, so that was a good debate. All right, so we'll carry that on. Ricky, what do you have to the table? Go ahead. I kind of stepped on Friday. I don't know what I stepped on.
You did step on it, but that's okay. All right, so with the D23 this weekend, obviously a big part of the expo is going to be centered, I believe, especially if you believe the rumors, around Disney's Animal Kingdom and the fact that, they're going to update, supposedly, again, this is all speculative at the moment. They're going to update Dinosaur to Indiana Jones. We're going to get an Encanto section. Of course, we've already had the announced Zootopia replacement for Tree of Life. It's tough to be a bug. So, we kind of talked about this before, but on last show, but do you think that these updates, do you think that they're going to have enough to make Disney's Animal Kingdom now a nighttime park? We discussed how we very much would like to see it become a nighttime park because, yes, it is so hot there. Matter of fact, Brian and I were planning on going there in July, and then we were like, we felt outside and we said, never mind, we're just going to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge and hang out here and just relax a little bit, hang out by the pool, that kind of stuff. So we still got to see the animals with the Animal Kingdom Lodge, but we didn't, have to be in the heat of, the Animal Kingdom. So I'd love to be able to enjoy that park in the evening, and it's just not possible. I mean, the park closes at 7 in the middle of summer. So with these additions, I mean, I know before they had the additions that happened with Pandora, and we thought, okay, this is going to be it. This is going to be the nighttime park now. And then that quickly went away. So do you think that this is going to help make Disney Animal Kingdom a nighttime park?
I think it's just it's a matter of will by Disney. I think this park could absolutely tomorrow be a nighttime park, and it could be open till 10 every night. I think it's just a matter of they look at the bottom line and say, is it financially worth it to us? Because they've done it. I mean, I remember back I went down to an event a long time ago called Awaken Summer, where they kept it open late at night, and it was like the greatest thing ever. I mean, I remember they did that nighttime safari thing for a little while, and that was really cool to get to see the animals at around sunset when they're more active. I mean, just like sunrise, it was a totally different experience. They added like a fake sunrise, like an LED panel.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting how they did
weird.
it. Yeah.
It was a little weird, but listen for the what was it, the honey badger or whatever. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're playing with me. But it was that park has enough to do, and it is absolutely more enjoyable if you could hop over there at 5:00 in the evening, grab some dinner, and go 5 to 10 when the sun's setting. It would be beautiful. It's a gorgeous park, but I mean at sunset times 10. Thumbs up, let's go. I think people would really get it, and then you add those other things, absolutely. But I think it's a nighttime park now. It's a matter of will. Pam Forrester, what do you think?
I think a lot of it has to do with when their staff have to be there, and that is really dependent on the animals that are the main focus of that park. That's when the staff has to be there. The cast has to be there during those times, and so I think that sort of drives the hours right now. I think that we could absolutely see this become a park that extends into the evening. And I know, like you guys, I would like to as well. I mean, I think that there are some really cool things to do. They sort of struggle with when people are there at night, they want to see a nighttime show, right?
True.
And so we had, you can't really do fireworks there because of that. Those are impactful to the animals.
Could we do a drone show there now?
Could absolutely do drones. We're getting close.
We could do a drone show for sure. I think the other problem is the theater. Remember, we had that whole theater thing with the water show and whatnot, and it just wasn't big enough. It quickly became it wasn't large enough for the masses that would want to be there. And that's what happens when there's an evening. When it's open in the evening, people want to see an evening show. So I think that probably impacts some of it. I would love to see them really try to make this happen though, so that even almost even before they would even consider adding another park, I would like to see them take advantage of what you have there available to them. And I think they could do it. I think they probably do have some restrictions because of the American Zoological accreditation that they have and whatnot. But I think there would be a way to do that. And I think they probably thought about it at some point when in the beginning it was going to be more, there would be a mystical beast thing and whatnot. I would love to even have an afternoon parade there. We used to have an afternoon parade and it was so fun. It was Jingle Jungle.
Do you think we could do a nighttime parade?
I think maybe they could, and I would love to see them come back with that, even if it was only at short times. I'm totally okay with it. Like if they want to do it for the holidays, yes, let's do it for the holidays. But you know how the Epcot festivals actually really made so many people have a greater appreciation for Epcot? Mm-hmm. I think that there are things that they could do that would have people have a greater appreciation for this park, which is arguably one of the prettiest parks that you've ever been in, and creative in so many ways. So I think they could take advantage of that.
I want to see this park do what it's destined to do, and it hasn't quite hit yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to visit this park in the evening so desperately. Like Brian and I were both talking about how, man, we would so go over to Animal Kingdom after, our dinner that we had at Jico or, whatever. Like, we would so have done that. We just couldn't because the park had already closed. It had been closed for like 2 hours at that point. So, it's one of those things where it makes me sad that it can't live up to its potential yet. But I think we're getting there. And I'm hoping that by adding like actual attractions, that it will accomplish that, because then they can take some of the focus off the animal part of the park, which I know is obviously a huge part of it. It is called Animal Kingdom, but you know, the fact that they do have to have bedtimes for, you know, the animals, you know, and stuff like that. Like, I feel like having additional things for people to do, which they started to have with you know, with Pandora. That was kind of the start of it, because you know that focuses heavily on the attractions there. I think by branching out into that Dinoland USA area and really expanding that and making it full of just really great attractions, at that point I think hopefully we can maybe turn this into a park that we visit in the night.
I agree. And one of some of my favorite Run Disney memories, and Mr. Brett Young, he's tuned in. I think he's out of Walt Disney World right now. He's over on Instagram, but shout out to Brett. But he used to run the races with us, and some of my favorite Run Disney memories are early mornings or night races running through Animal Kingdom, the park. It's beautiful when it's dark, especially like as Pandora came online. We'd run through Pandora in the early mornings. Gorgeous park at night and in the morning. So yeah, totally love this. All right, Pam Forrester, you got the final topic. What are we talking about?
This one's going to be a little controversial.
Uh-oh.
Let's get ready.
Let's do it.
Disney needs another resort, and it should be a deluxe resort.
Ooh.
Oh, you do.
Pam lost me at the deluxe part.
And I'm going to make my argument. So Mike,
lost me at that deluxe part.
Mike, sit down.
Okay, I'm back. Hang on.
I was there with you for a minute and I fell off the cliff.
No. So here's the reason why. First of all, I feel like Disney does a themed resort as good as just about anyone, right? And the way that they're going to be able to do that the best is by having the budget that would come more with a Disney Deluxe Resort. I want to see what Disney can do. It's really been quite a while. I mean, Riviera, you know, we had that, but it's been a while since we have had a big theme, a deluxe resort with a big theme, right? That it could just, you like stretch their little bits of creativity there. I want to see it. I think that now's the time, because I think we're going to continue to see the parks become more and more popular. I think that we've introduced the evening hours for that. That's been basically well received. And there is sort of a precedence now for maybe having some benefits that are available to the deluxe resort guests. And I think that that's really interesting too. I would also really, I appreciate about the deluxe resorts also that they often have different room types that are available. And this is something that so many guests are looking for. They're oftentimes one of the quickest resort room categories to sort of fill up are these unique types. And the deluxe resorts also have rooms that accommodate 5 in almost all of them. And so that gives people an opportunity to stay there. I think the other thing I like about the deluxe resorts is you're going to have new dining options. And that's really important. I think we could use some different restaurants. And finally, I think that the deluxe resorts often have some kind of exclusive access or transportation to the parks. And I think that is another reason why it should be a deluxe resort. So, you know, there it is. Of course, this is, you know, a little personal too. Right, I mean, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't benefit from this, but I think it's something that so many guests can benefit from. It just has a lot more flexibility, I think, than we can see in the value in the moderate category. And I would love to see Disney pour some imagination and creativity in it and knock it out of the park.
Tag me in. I'm in. Okay, so here we go.
Here we go.
I know I hear all of you have solid reasoning.
There's
there.
solid.
Deluxe, because again, well, no, here's the reason. No, because
but you could go ahead and say.
No, she's exactly right. Because obviously, I spend my days helping guests find accommodations, and she addressed a lot of the reasons people are looking for what they're looking for. But I would say a lot of that would fall on this hybrid kind of model, which I think Grandestino Tower has kind of fallen into over the past 5 years, where it's a moderate resort, but it also has kind of deluxe amenities with better dining, great location. I would like to see, for the same reasons you said, I would like to see a new moderate resort announced. I think the time is right to kind of address more of like middle class America right now, where it would be like a goodwill gesture. Like Disney could really market a moderate resort right now very, very well, like in marketing. Like, we hear you, America. We have this new moderate resort for everybody.
We're tuning it. It's tuna. Remember from Mr. Mom?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
We hear you, America. And because of that, we're dropping the price of our tuna like 5 cents.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yes, whatever it takes.
Totally. Oh my God, that's awesome. No, but exactly, you can market that. But I mean, but the moderate could be, it doesn't have to be the moderate of French Quarter days in the 90s or the 80s when they built that. It could be the 2025 moderate resort, more of like a, Coronado, like Grandestino Tower. Like Caribbean Beach has Sebastian's Bistro, and like, Grandestino Tower has Toledo. You know what I'm saying? You could have almost a signature restaurant in a new moderate. The moderates have rooms for 5.
Maybe we need a moderate plus. Maybe we need something between a moderate and a deluxe.
Like a hybrid. Yeah.
Yes, maybe it should be. Maybe it should be a whole new resort category.
And we should include Coronado Springs into that and have it be like
easy. I'm having a hard time remembering where the cruise ships go now that I was good when we had 4. I keep talking to the people at Disney Cruise Line. We were all good when we had 4 ships. I knew where they all were. Now that we have all these other ships, I'm always confused. I'm like, where's the magic again? I can't remember in 25. Like, what? Right? Where's the dream? The fantasies in England? What? The fantasies
it's like the new categories that Universal is doing for their resorts. I'm like,
categories.
Yeah, these don't make any sense.
No, so easy. Don't change too much at once. Mike's old, and I'm trying to keep track of these categories. No, but you could do. But I see what you're saying, Pam. But I mean, maybe. Like a hybrid model, because you could still have everything you address, but still like moderate-ish, like.
It is. That's my problem with the moderates and the values, is that they're just so like, you have a resort and you have a food court and you might have a whatever, and it's going to be this, and the rooms are this size, and there are these configurations. They're all the same, but you only get a garden view, a standard view, a water view, or whatever. I think that the deluxes offer so many different accommodations that I think there is. And I'd be open to something if it were, I think that there is an opportunity for a totally different resort category. I don't want it to be like exactly like Coronado. I would love to see them do a different resort category.
Yeah, it could have a tower. I mean, it could, because I mean, they're growing vertical in the past 10 years more than they ever did. And, you could have a building of family suites, because I mean, obviously the family suites are something that was needed. And so this moderate could have a building or two of family suites. But Ricky, I don't want to hog it, so go ahead, because we got to close out.
No. I think the moderate plus was kind of the category I was going in. Or, even... I know that they've never done it before, but a value plus, like just up the standards of the value resorts. I think that it could easily be done. They could offer different room types for a value resort. They don't have to keep offering the same, this is the 4 people. That's it. Like, I feel like they could reconfigure the idea behind it. Because I do think that they do need new hotels. I think that they do need them in the value and moderate categories. And I would love to see that happen. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen. If you believe the rumors, there's a rumor going around that the Reflections resort is back on potentially. So we could be getting another deluxe resort here announced. We're one day out to find out. But if you believe the rumors, Reflections could be coming back in a different kind of way. So we'll see what happens with that. But I would personally like to see them do some sort of value plus or moderate plus type of accommodations. I think that would be a really great thing for Disney to kind of branch out that direction. And honestly, I'd like to see both announced, but I don't think we're going to get either. So, but it would be really great, to kind of be able to do a value resort with 5, without having the family suite option. It would be great to be able to bring my parents to the parks without having, somebody sleeping in a chair. That would be nice. So I feel like there's a lot of things that could be done that Disney hasn't done before, that I think maybe Universal has considered. And, even heck, Brian works for Hyatt. We stay at, Hyatt Places all the time. Those are fantastic options. Do something kind of like that, which, offers, 4 and then a couch bed. And it's a great option there too. So I think that there's things that Disney could do. They just haven't done it in the past, but I don't see why they couldn't.
If you make Rick sleep in the chair, make sure you get him some candy.
Yeah, exactly. He needs something. But yeah, I mean, sleeping in a chair is not like the most comfortable thing, even though it's technically a bed.
Yes.
So
it's a sleeper sofa. It's a sleeper chair. What do they call those?
Yeah.
Sleeper chairs? Sleeper.
I don't know, but it's not a bed.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how old you are.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, when you're younger, you can handle that stuff.
If you're 15, then it's a different thing.
Exactly.
But there are no 15-year-olds in my family right now. So.
When I was younger, I could sleep on anything. Now it's got to be pretty nice. I creak. I'm like a rotisserie chicken at night, basically. Every 10 minutes, I'm like, other side now, other side, other side.
Gosh.
I'm like the hot dog machine. Anyway, that's it. So we want to continue the conversation over in the clubhouse. So give us your thoughts on these 3 topics. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/clubhouse. Let us know. And then Sunday night, Scott and I will be together. Ring us up on the telly. If you're over in England, even here in the United States, give us a call. We'll talk about these things. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Give us a yell. We'll be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll be looking for you. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you get to your favorite Disney destination right now so you can get ready to have some fun with your friends and family. No cost to you. Concierge level service each and every time. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click when you're buying those back to school supplies. Piece of cake. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You make all these shows possible. A huge thank you to you. If you'd like to support us, just $5 a month, and you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over right now. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on social media. Ricky is at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at BeOurGuestMike on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. And of course, the clubhouse is where you want to be for all the announcements this weekend. Again, a lot of folks are going to be watching the announcements live in the clubhouse and chatting along. So come on over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again Sunday night for the call-in show at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll see you then. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.